Well, thank you for so much for coming today, despite it is raining and we're sitting out here with the wind and the cold. I appreciate that. Now let's get started, okay? Now, let me tell you a story before I get started and how I also been able to hop on to this Gen AI opportunity. Yeah. So about a week. Do you all remember what was it like when ChatGPT was released to the world on the 30th of November? Hands up, who can still remember that? Yes. Okay, Veron is good. Okay, wonderful. You okay? Okay, cool. Let's continue. And so after a week or two, the ChatGPT was released to the world. I remember I was driving. I was driving in the north of Brisbane, and I've been thinking about what we can do with the ChatGPT. So I called my engineer who was in overseas at that time, and I spoke to her as I was driving, and I said, "Hey, Leeward, ChatGPT is crazy. It's amazing. I think we need to do something about it." And she said, "What do you have in mind?" I said, "Well, that is thing that we all have been doing over the last 6 months is very much using the same tech of the Gen AI. I think we can do something with it. And it's about prospecting, it's about for LinkedIn user, and I think we can do something about it." Initially, she did not trust me at all. So we went on for debating for like half testing. I think I need to get I need to get this really, really close. Okay. Here, okay? Okay, cool, wonderful. I will make sure I am performing like a singer at the stage. Okay, so we went on debating for half an hour and eventually we agreed to it. So we went on spending the time to build, and she built the first prototype over a weekend. By 22nd of December of 2022, we released it to the market. On the second day, I got a first paying customer who paid me 300 USD for the entire year. We got 2,000 users in the first week. And I was like, shit, I think we found something. I think we found something that people really, really want. And that is the story. And then we went on the building, which eventually I bootstrapped and scaled it to 100,000 users before I exceeded the business last year. Now, throughout that period, I learned a lot of the things, and I think a lot of the things that I learned are still validated as of today. So that is the thing that I want to share with you, how you can replicate my journey and do something with AI for yourself. That's good? All righty, let's get started. Now, a quick show of hand. Who is trying to adopt more AI now? Great. Who is trying to build an AI product? Great. Now, who is struggling with AI? Okay, never mind. I'll show you my blueprint of cracking this and finding the opportunity. Okay. Now, we all know, right? The gold rush of the AI is definitely on. I mean, Google, OpenAI, Elon is spending trillions of dollars, and we all want to be part of this. I think we can probably not try to grab $1 trillion, but I actually think we can grab a few $1 million. Yeah, I'll show you exactly how. Now, I think the challenge at the same time, as we think about this AI gold rush and trying to find this opportunity, we all equally feel the pressure of adding more AI. But we also feel the challenge, the adoption is low. I spent 2.5 years doing that. I'll share with you how to solve some of those problems. But the real problem that I see is raining. 20 years ago, I started my first job working for Suncorp, and I used to do pricing optimization. We do all the crazy things. Every time it rained, I got scared. You know why? Because every time it rained, if it flood or it got hailstorm, I will be looking out to the window and I say, bye bye bonus. Because my bonus would be gone because the insurer, Suncorp, had to pay out a lot of claim, and my yearly bonus is gone. So every time I see raining, it kind of like scare me a little bit. Now, the real problem that I see often with the adoption low is because a lot of the AI products that are building, they simply add another chatbot. They add another chatbot that exactly look like ChatGPT, and they call it AI. That is one of the biggest problems. What I share with you over the screen here is a AI or chatbot built by counseling. And as you can see with this chatbot, it doesn't know what to do. It error. Okay, I tried so many times, it still doesn't work. The opportunity that I actually think that we all need to unlock is not to build another chat, but rather is integrating ourselves in the workflow of our very target customer. Because by getting yourself into their workflow, we will be able to solve the problem much better for them. They will also feel more likely to use our product rather than opening another chatbot to talk with AI. We and many users and many business and many people around the world are done talking to AI. We want AI to do something for us. Okay? So don't build another chatbot. The other problem is that people are adding AI for the AI's sake. And you have seen a lot of those products out there that coming out and say it is AI enabled, just exactly like this toothbrush. I know how to brush my teeth better. Yeah. So there are also a lot of those AI for AI's sake. So the thing that you have to think about is, and how you have to convey your message is that is AI really making a difference? And is AI really the core of your product? That is how you want to think and share the message of your AI product. The other thing that I see so often is that people are ignoring their domain expertise. Often I got people coming up to me and say, Jason, you need to look at my chatbot. It's performing better than OpenAI. And I was like, wow, Sam Altman has got about hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars, and some of the top scientists in the world, and yours is better than theirs when you are working alone. That's crazy, right? Maybe they are right. Maybe. I give them a chance of doubt. But the problem is, it's very hard for people to believe when you say your product is better than ChatGPT. Whether it's possible or not is a different story, but it's the market perception. But more importantly, the market has already got ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Why are you building another chatbot to compete? Why are you ignoring your domain expertise to build something for the very industry, the area that you know? So that is the thing that I think a lot of people are making the mistake. Now, here's what you can expect today. I'm going to share with you the big picture. I'll show you how some other people are doing it. And then I'll go through the exact framework that I use to find AI opportunity. And I'll share with you a document that you can take away that we will go through together and find those opportunities. Okay? Now, who am I? My name is Jason Tan. Like I say, I've been doing AI for 20 years now. I used to build AI with insurance company. I am the reason why your car insurance, your home insurance is so expensive because I was optimizing it. Okay, I'm sorry, but not sorry so much. I've been doing AI for 20 years now. I published a book, and just about 3.5 years ago, when Gen AI was a thing, I smelled an opportunity. I built a product called Engage AI that I bootstrapped and scaled it to 100,000 users around the world before I exceeded last year. Now, enough about me. Let's move on. Now, the thing that I equally want you to think about is that this AI opportunity is very much the same like what we all have seen before. And what is that? A classic example is when we first shifted to the mobile app. Okay, when we had the smartphone by Apple, reviewed by Steve Jobs, all the big players that we are familiar now, they didn't just try to squeeze the whole thing into a smaller screen. It unlocked a bunch of new opportunity. It unlocked a bunch of new capability that resulted what we see as Uber, Tinder, and Instagram. Because of mobile phone, a different kind of experience and many new opportunities were created. And that is exactly how you should be thinking about AI. Now, what is the AI first product? So let's get it right before we go on and find those opportunities, okay? Now, very often, the way I think about the real AI product is AI is the core. It's beyond than just calling another, it's beyond than just creating another chatbot. It's beyond just calling the LLM, okay? It also, can you guys hear me okay? Because I feel like the rain is really loud. You okay? The back is okay? Okay, wonderful, thank you. And more importantly, AI unlocked a bunch of new opportunity and new capability. A lot of the things were not possible before 5 years ago are now possible. When I was with Suncorp building the pricing optimization AI capability, we had a team of hundreds of engineers just to build the model and the system. But these days, you can build it in a team of few people. More importantly, this AI capability is so much more advanced that it allows us to reimagine the new experience for solving some of the problems that the world has already solved. For example, you think about the Tinder, right? I mean, dating was already solved with the internet for the website like plenty of fish, I think, something like that. And Tinder solve it differently with mobile app. It's the same thing with AI. A lot of these problems that are already solved, we can solve it again with AI with a better experience. And that is really one of the key when you're building the AI product. And most importantly, is that this new workflow would not be possible if you do not have AI in it. That is what I define as an AI first product. Why now? 3.5 years in, people ask me, Jason, it's 3.5 years already since the release of ChatGPT. Is that still opportunity? Yes, it is. There's still a lot of opportunity. Why is that? Because the market is demanding it. Our customer, your target customer, they are done talking to AI, but they want AI to do more for them. They all also have been using AI every single day. They go to ChatGPT, they go to Gemini and say, hey, help me to write this email. Help me to improve this email. They all are already familiar with it. So when you give them a new AI capability, it's a lot easier for them to understand and adopt. Unlike the crypto blockchain, it seems like they are still trying to convince that it's a business use case for that. And it feels to me the only people who make money with the crypto or blockchain is the exchange and the scammer. Right? But AI, I guarantee you, every single one in this room are using it. And we all know at least 10 to 20 people are using it. So it's solid and they are familiar. All they are waiting is a new kind of experience and new kind of capability solved by AI to be given to them. And that is your job. To think about this possibility and do something with it and build something with it to give it to them. It is a once in a decade opportunity. I missed the internet because I was too young. I missed the mobile because I was not mature enough. I didn't miss the AI this time. And I think certainly you do not want to miss this time because AI allowed us to reimagine a bunch of things differently. And I want to show you a few of the startups that are already changing the game. And you probably already seen and used some of it. Gamma AI, the very presentation app that I am using to share this PowerPoint with you, it is worth $1.2 billion. What do? PowerPoint presentation with AI. When they got the idea and go to the investor were laughing at them and say, this is the stupidest idea I have ever heard. It's $1.2 billion now. Why is $1.2 billion now? Because PowerPoint is too painful to use. It has so many buttons, has so many things on the menu, and I guarantee you never use 90% of them. Right? So AI will make it a lot easier to create a PowerPoint presentation. Jasper, one of the early adopters who got access to the ChatGPT model, built the copywriting for marketing. ChatGPT is already released 3.5 years. But Jasper is still relevant. It is making $88 million last year. Now you got to ask yourself the question why. When you and many of us can use ChatGPT to write the marketing article, why is Jasper still making $88 million? Because they customize the entire experience specifically for marketing. It makes the whole thing so much easier for marketers to create marketing content, to create blog, and integrate themselves entirely into the workflow. And that is the reason why it is still relevant. Despite ChatGPT is free, Gemini is free, they are still relevant and they still stay relevant. Now, you'll be saying, Jason, all of these are in Silicon Valley. They have hundreds and millions of dollars from the venture capital. Of course they can do it. I heard you. But the truth is, there are many other companies, very, very lean team, are equally making a buck. Outrank a team of 2 people. What they do, they create blog articles for website to improve website SEO. A team of 2, and they are making $1 million per year. Again, it's the same thing, right? ChatGPT is free. Why are they still making money? Why are they still making $1 million with a team of 2 persons? And the reason of that is because they integrate themselves so well into their customer workflow. I built Engage AI. It's the AI commenting tools for LinkedIn. So I'm the reason why you see so many AI commenting slots. Okay, and this thing, the very tool that I built with a team of 4 people, including myself, I scaled it to 100,000 users. So it is entirely possible. I see that people are taking a screenshot. So this is a very proof that there is still opportunity, even for a small team, even when you don't have any money from the venture capital. Because building is so much easier now. Building with AI is so much easier and so much faster. The thing that you have to understand in order to achieve the similar result is that you have to go deep. You have to go deep in the industry, in the problem, into the very solution that you're building for your customer, so that the ChatGPT or OpenAI is not replicated. And most importantly, you don't have to beat OpenAI. You can be yourself, solving that very own problem for your own customer. And you want to own that niche that they will never bother with. And the way that I want you to think about it is that OpenAI, they are building the superhighway. And you want to build the station along that superhighway, utilizing the superhighway. That is how you should be thinking about this AI opportunity. So, how do we spot the AI opportunity? Now, what I want you to do right now is, I think I'll get you to download the template that you can use as we speak along, and I'll get you to do some of those exercise, and you can continue that exercise as well. If you open your laptop and if you type that URL, jpcd.com/nicheai-ai-dog, you will be able to open that Google Doc. And what I want you to do is to make a copy of that Google Doc that we are going to use it. Okay? Are you able to open a website and type that URL, jpcd.com? I should really have made it easier. Rather than niche-ai- no, I should have made it doc. Okay, now let's continue. Let's go back to my favorite slide. You see, the Silicon Valley, they are building the superhighway. So rather than trying to build another AI model, what you want to think about is how do we utilize this very AI model that these guys are building and do something for your customer and do something for the problem that you want to solve. Yeah? Now, let's talk about how exactly do we do that. Okay, I hope you have got the Google Doc now. If you have got the Google Doc, replicate that, make a copy of that, and then you can type something as we continue. Okay? Anyone has a problem with that Google Doc? All is good? Okay, cool, wonderful. So the very first message that I want to share with you is that you are the expert. You are the expert. You know what is the job to be done. You brief the problem every day. You know all of the edge case. You know the friction. What does it mean? Is that even an AI engineer from the Stanford dropout, even they work for Google, they actually never really understand the problem that you know better than anyone else. For them to solve those problems, they still need to sit with you or they need to sit with your customer to know what are the jobs to be done. But the reality is you already know what is this job to be done. So just an example, I was talking to George, who is the owner of this space, and he was telling me that a lot of the students, the Latin students who come here for the education, he wants to help them to stay in Australia. But the problem is that there are just too many information, too many websites out there, and it's overwhelming for the student. And he asked me, how can we make AI to make it easier to pass on this information to the student who want to stay here? So you see, George already knows this problem and the jobs to be done better than any other AI engineer. George knows this problem better than I do. I mean, I know AI, but I do not know this is the job to be done. I do not know this is the problem that he wants to solve. So my point is, what is that job to be done? If you have got the Google Doc open, what I want you to do is to write down one example that you know it is a job to be done. When I say it's a job to be done, it basically means that someone wants to do it, someone has got to do it, no matter what happens, for their role, for their daily life, in order for something else to happen. what is these jobs to be done? Yeah, and I'll give you one example. Excel. He has got a SaaS product, and one of his challenge is to find customer for his SaaS product. He noticed that a lot of his customers come from Reddit. So the question then is, how do you find customer and the Reddit user and turn them into a customer? So he built Redshift. Basically is helping the Reddit user to mention their brand in the Reddit forum, because Reddit data is being used by OpenAI and Google to train Gemini and ChatGPT. What that means is then whenever people who go on to Google to search for something, your brand will come out in the search result. Your brand is coming up in the search result because AI is training Reddit data. They know that is the job to be done, and he built Redshift. So question that I want you to ask yourself is, what is the job to be done for your role, for your company, for your industry, and for your customer? What is this job to be done? Where could be your next idea hide? And this is how I think about it all the time when I try to look for my next idea or help my customer to look for their next idea, which is, what is the daily friction? What is the thing that they have to do? And that is always a friction when they are doing that. Because that is your opportunity. You want to think that opportunity, is that something that you can do with AI to solve that problem, to help them to claim back their time, or to help them claim back your time. And it's also very, very painful because they have to do it daily, they have to do it monthly, they have to do it weekly, and they have to spend hours and hours in doing that. It's a real, real pain. And how can you use AI to solve that problem? So in that Google Doc that you have got, what I want you to think about is that, what is this thing that you see is a friction that is tedious, and that is costing and that's taking a lot of time for someone to do it manually. I'll give you my example here. This is how I figure out to build this AI SaaS product. So before I built Engage AI, I was doing a consulting company. I run my own consulting company in providing data and analytics. And one of the things that I had to do is obviously finding customer, where my target customer are the enterprise customer. So I need to speak with the head of the data, head of data analytics, head of customer. And one way that I was doing that is on LinkedIn. How I did it on LinkedIn, though, is that rather than connecting with someone randomly and then just send them a message and say, hey, book a time on my calendar so I can sell you something and you will pay me $100,000, I do it differently. What I did is that I find all my target customers, I save them in the Excel spreadsheet, and every time when they post on LinkedIn, I go and comment. That's it. I went and comment. Why it worked? Because they usually barely get any engagement when they post because their content are boring. They don't write like influencer. They don't write crazy stuff. So they barely get any engagement. So when I gave them engagement again, for multiple times, it was so easy for me to get their attention. They would be asking, who is this Jason man? Oh my goodness. He always comment and engage whenever I post. Most importantly, he engaged with some question, some insight. It looks like he really liked my stuff. It looks like he really read my stuff and he enjoyed. That's why he engaged with me. Unlike any other people 5 years ago, whenever they post, they comment, they were like, great insight. I love it, Jason. Thank you for sharing. Do you all remember those comments? Yeah? No one is going to look at those comments and say, Jason is a genius, okay? No one. No one. But when I ask questions, I read their stuff and I comment, I get their attention. The only problem is it was very painful. It's really, really painful. Okay? It's really painful because I spend 3 to 5 minutes reading the post. And for not to say thank you for sharing, I spend another 3 to 5 minutes to think of something uniquely interesting or insightful to comment. So that is about 6 to 10 minutes per comment. Right? But I had to do it. I had no choice because it helped me to generate leads. It helped me to get meetings. So I had to do it. But when ChatGPT came along, I figured out I can use AI to do that for me. I'm going to play you a little video so you how it works, okay? So that's engage AI. It doesn't cure cancer. It doesn't send any rocket into the space. But it solves a problem. It solves a pain for many B2B sellers who need to build relationship on LinkedIn to sell their services, who need to build relationship in order to have to build that know, like, trust relationship to sell their product and services. And they do it on LinkedIn. It doesn't work for someone who is an employee because employee only go commenting on LinkedIn when they are looking for a job. They only do three to 5 comments per day when they are looking for a job. And they can actually use ChatGPT to do exactly the same for free. So why do people pay for it? Engage AI. The people who pay for Engage AI are the B2B sellers who are making, some of my users, my customers, they make 50 to 100 comments per day. So if you do the math, 100 comment multiplied by 6, that is 600 minutes. That is 10 hours. They would rather die instead of doing it, spending 10 hours. And those are the people who pay for Engage AI. Why is that? Because to copy the content and paste it into OpenAI ChatGPT, write a prompt, give me a comment, copy and paste back to LinkedIn, that is a lot of time. They would rather die. Okay? That's the reason why they pay for Engage AI, because they just click a button, they blink their eyes, and the comment is ready. Comment is ready in the context of the post. Comment is ready in the tone that they want. Simple as that. So, spotting the grind. Spotting the grind is exactly the same thing of how about friction, except in a slightly different lens. Okay? How do you spot the grind? Is that something that people have to do it day in, day out, every single day, every single week, and every single month? So for example, a lot of the company, they will have someone, a lead generation sales team member, they would have to go on to LinkedIn, do the search criteria using the sales navigator, and look at every single person that come back from the search result and check whether they are the target customer or not, whether they meet the ICP. Are they the right size of the customer? Are they the decision maker? One of my customers have got their sales guy doing that every single day, 6 hours a day, just to get 100 potential leads. It's highly repetitive. And that can be solved with AI, and I'll come back to that in a second. More importantly, someone has got to do it. There's no choice when your business depends on it. Okay, so another example that I want to give you as a friction or the manual repetitive is what we do with the Engage AI. Is it a video? No, it's not a video. Hang on, let me check. So I show you how people use AI or Engage AI to comment, to engage the target prospect, right? Now, the problem though is that finding the post from your target prospect is actually a lot of work. Because newsfeed algorithm never really show us the post from our target prospect. Like for example, my newsfeed never showed me the head of AI from the CPA bank. It shows me the crazy post. It shows me that I did this and I make $20 million, that kind of post all the time. So for me, to find a post from LinkedIn itself is another thing. Yes.
Yeah, from a social media perspective, LinkedIn has got the worst algorithms. They have made the user friendliness within the platform itself really, really hard. So I totally understand how your product could make the difference. So even if I have to find my own post, something that I posted, there's no way for me to go back and track on my own post. So yeah,
All right.
thank you. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Thank you. So I built the second thing for Engage AI. And that is the only two things that I do with Engage AI. So Engage AI only does two things and two things only. The first one is the AI commenting, and I'm going to show you the second one. The second one is the AI agent. The AI agent, basically, if you tell Engage AI who are your target prospects, what it does, it will track them, it will monitor them, and whenever they post, it will bring all of those posts to you in a single page for you to focus and engage. So no more scrolling, no more scrolling forever. So this is how it looks. It put everything in a screenshot for you to focus and engage. So I'll show you exactly how it works, and then we'll go with a quick exercise.
Do you have to save the prospect, what we see here, or it happens automatically?
Have to, because otherwise I do not know. Because otherwise AI do not know who your prospect is.
I know some software like for Instagram that can be automatized process of like following your competitor and stealing all people who comment or like their posts automatically. Like you can ask your software to do that for you. And then like message every person who liked or commented on your competitor's post, something like that.
Good question. We did not do that. I don't know the guy who bought my business, who bought Engage, whether he would do it or not, but I didn't do it. And the reason why I did not do it is because not everyone who comment or like your post or the competitor post are necessarily a customer. That is correct. It could be anyone, right? So what we decided to do is that you tell Engage AI who exactly is your target customer. And especially in the B2B services business, you don't really need tens of thousands of people. All you need really is just about 100 to 300 people that you need to monitor. So we decided not to do it automatically. That could potentially make mistake. That's why we let the customer do. Yeah. Good question though. So what I want you to do is that I want you to spend the next 2 minutes just to think about what is this thing that you see that is extremely painful, that is extremely repetitive, that is extremely manual, but you still have to do it. Can you spend the next 3 minutes to think about that example and write it into the Google Doc? So think about it. What is the thing that someone has got to do it? No matter what happened. Even alien is invading the earth, someone still has got to do it because your boss said so. Or you are the boss because you tell them you still have to do it. And it's extremely painful. It's extremely repetitive. And that is an opportunity that AI may be able to solve that. Can you write that down in the Google Doc? We still have 1 minute left, and I'll carry on to the next point. Okay, I hope you got at least one example, or even better, two. Let's go on to the next one. Another way to find AI opportunity is to think about what was once impossible before. Engage AI was not possible before. Engage AI was not possible 5 years ago. But because of the LLM, to have the AI comment, to understand the context of the post, to monitor the prospect, to monitor whether they post or not, and then to come out a comment based on your tone is now possible. It's another way to think about it. Another example, before smartphone, Uber was not possible. That's why we have to queue up at street, put up our hand, or maybe if you are in New York, you will whisper. But with smartphone, it make Uber possible. So what was it impossible before? But it is now possible. I'll give you a few examples, and I want you to take some of these as aspiration and write down one idea that may be possible. AI meeting note taker. One of the most annoying thing every time I go to a meeting. My goodness, sometimes there are more AI bots in the meeting than the human. But it was not possible before. But it was not possible before when we did not have ChatGPT. It is possible now. AI note taker. Which is this one here. Before that, someone has to, if you work in a big company, you will have someone or your executive assistant or PA who have to frantically write down and take notes of what everyone else is doing. But now, that job is gone. It's taken by AI now. So that was not possible before. I mean, technically, and not possible from a technology perspective, but someone has got to do this job. But now it's entirely possible with the help of AI. Yeah? So this is another way to think about it. What was not possible, but now is possible. So what I want you to do is to think one area or one idea that was not possible with the technology, but is now possible because of AI. I'll give you a minute. And I want you to write that idea down in your Google Doc. Just one idea, and you can continue to think in that direction when you are continuing this exercise at home or in the office. What was not possible before? Think of it, right? Uber was not possible before smartphone. It is now possible. AI note taker is not possible before, but is now possible. Just one idea, and you can write more idea when you have time at home. Okay. Number 5. Reimagine the experience. A lot of the problem that we have or our customer have is already solved by desktop software. It was then resolved again with the web application. Again, it was solved again with the mobile app. Can we solve exactly the same problem with AI? Dating is an example. We are social animal. We want to date. We want to find a partner. Internet came and it solved that problem with a website. When we had the smartphone, Tinder solved exactly the same problem again, but with a mobile app and with a new experience. Rather than reading everything, it came out a new experience, which is swap left and swap right, to solve the same problem. And AI solved this problem differently. I don't know. I'm already married. I cannot think about that. Otherwise, my wife will be suspicious. But the question I ask is, can you reimagine a new experience to solve a problem that is already solved with whether it's mobile phone or a website, web application? I talked about Uber already, and I'll give you this example, and then I want you to do the exercise of reimagine. So Dharma, which is a very presentation. So can you see like how AI is reimagining the new experience instead of using PowerPoint? So how can you reimagine the experience? You see like how AI creating the PowerPoint so much faster, also so much prettier if I were to do it myself manually. But most importantly, even if I had to hire the designer, I had to spend a lot of time back and forth, just to tell them what I want. All right? So you reimagine the experience. What is one thing that you can reimagine experience for the problem that is already solved? Can you write down one example? Reimagine the experience. Okay? So the thing about this is that there are so many problems. And a lot of them you would think that they are already solved. It's true, they are already solved. But with AI, we can solve it with a newer and a better experience. And that's the way to think about it. And the next one is another one that I use in my blueprint to help myself and my customer to find opportunity is the hardware lens. What does it mean from the hardware lens? A lot of time when we think about AI, we think about ChatGPT, which I have another point to come in a second, but also we think about the software. But there are actually a lot of new opportunity outside in a different hardware using LLM as well. 90% of the AI solution that we are seeing in the market are all in the laptop or the desktop computer. But there are actually a lot of opportunity in outside of the laptop or the desktop, which is the reason why that Sam Altman is teaming up with Johnny Ive, the guy who created iPhone, to come out a new hardware. So what I want you to think about is that how can you use generative AI on your smartphone? Because it's one of the most underutilized of AI area for generative AI. Your smartphone. The market of the people who use smartphone is way bigger than the people who use desktop. Think about my mom and my dad. They don't know how to use a laptop, certainly know how to use a smartphone. So what can you do of AI in the smartphone? What can you do with AI with the smart glasses? Smart glasses is still not that popular, but I think Meta, Mark Zuckerberg is making it more popular now. One of the things you can do in there, but I think something that is a little bit closer is that the smartwatch. What can we do with AI with our smartwatch? That is one of the areas that nobody is really competing or doing anything. Can you be the first to create something with the smartwatch with the use of the AI to solve one problem? No, even though it looks very tiny, you think about it, right? AI commenting is solving a very, very small problem. But it is big enough to get hundreds and thousands of people. Security camera with a computer vision. If you can capture it with a security camera, that is an opportunity. Can we do something better with the AI using the security camera at the car park, at the building, at our house? So hardware, from the lens of the hardware is another way you can think about the use of the AI that barely anyone is competing. I'm not suggesting you to build the hardware, but rather think about it from the hardware perspective, that what nobody is doing or what very few people have noticed that problem that you can notice and solve it with AI in a different hardware that is not a laptop. That is another way to think about it. Classic example would be the live translation. So all the big tech are now trying to build a live translation, which is making use of the AI in the smartphone or the headphone. So smart translation is a classic example. Drone is another example where you can capture the images and you can send those images for AI to analyze and to pick up and detect something. So that is another example of the hardware. This is another my favorite one. Different AI core capability. Okay. I say I've been doing AI for 20 years. 20 years ago, nobody talked about AI. But now everyone talks about AI. The only problem, as much as I am happy about that, the only problem is when you ask them what is AI, they will say ChatGPT. But AI is so much bigger than just a ChatGPT, just a large language model. AI is now even more powerful in the computer vision, in the voice AI, another area that is underutilized. The logic and reasoning, I say 20 years ago, I need a team of hundreds of engineers and a team of mathematicians to build the underlying model to predict the price. Now you can do it by just calling the LLM to come out that logic. Text to images, text to video, which we all have seen in the last 2 years, and computer vision. I had a customer who built AI and then they put the camera on the waste truck. So when the waste truck go around and collect the rubbish bin at the residential, it also spot the pothole on the road. That's computer vision. And then he sells that data back to the council, and that is how he used AI and computer vision to make money. You don't hear about these sort of cases often, but that's AI. AI is beyond and more than just an LLM. So the exercise for you, when you want to think and when you want to find the AI opportunity is that what is outside of LLM? Can solve those problems. A few examples. Voice AI. So I actually think that voice AI is another underutilized area. But one thing that I wouldn't use is for the customer support, because I actually think that it doesn't quite work for customer support is because as a customer, if I were to call my bank, I don't want to talk with AI. Why? I pay them shitload of money. I don't want to talk with AI. I want to feel important. Okay? I have a problem and I need a human to solve it. I need to feel like a VIP. Okay? So I don't want to talk with AI for customer support. But there are other areas that voice AI is useful, right? Debt correction. If you think from the other hand, it's so painful to call the other party and say, hey, dude, hey, Jason, you haven't paid the invoice. Pay up. Imagine you have to make that sort of call every single day for tens and hundreds of times. It's so painful. It's so destroying. And I think actually voice AI is a better use case in that sort of scenario. I mean, after all, if someone owes you money, what is their choice to say, hey, I'm not paying because you've got an AI talking to me. Get a human to talk with me and I'll pay up. No, right? It's about trying to call them as many times as possible and then get them to pay up. Computer vision is another example. I give you the pothole scenario. So for traffic safety. And then finally is my favorite, AI agent. So early on I said that one of my customer, they got a salesperson who spent 6 hours a day just to produce 100 leads. I built an AI agent to do 100 leads in 20 minutes. More importantly, I think my AI is doing better than the human because it finds the people who have an intent to buy, who are in the market to buy, and then it analyzes the company size and the title, and all of that is done in 20 minutes. And they never complain. Few more examples that I have created: AI agent to reconcile and chase the unpaid invoices. Classic, the one that I just described. And verified worker compensation and the certificate and the insurance. So that is something that you imagine that an admin person would have to do it every single day. We build an AI agent to solve that problem. So that is another way for you to think about AI agent. One of the customers that I have helped, we basically build them multiple AI agents so that they can scale their operation without having to hire more people. And he told me he reckoned he saved $48,000 per month minimum. But more importantly, their team is a lot more productive and a lot more efficient now, where they can focus on a higher strategy rather than doing a lot of those mundane tasks. So what have we learned today? So why it's so important now, how Silicon Valley are doing it, and more importantly, a team of a few people just like you and me can do it and can execute it. And then I show you all of the different ways to find opportunity. I'm going to give you this blueprint that I just go through with you. So what I want you to do is to take your phone out. I will have a QR code for you to scan, and it will send it to you by email. Okay. So this is the blueprint. Which, if you scan the QR code, I'll send it out to you, or my AI agent will send it to you. And then, like I say, small team is entirely possible. I did it, but I'm not alone. This guy, Thibault, he is the founder of Outrank, the two-person team that is building the blog article with AI. This guy, Pieter, is a German. He is a digital nomad. He's one-person team. He got 5 AI products, and he is so big. And that is actually his profile photo on X.com. I'm serious. He's making $2.8 million a year. So here is what I want you to think about, right? Forget about VC. If you want to get money from VC, go for it. But equally, you can start really, really lean. Do this for the next 90 days. Using exactly the blueprint that I share with you to find that one problem. And to create that AI solution that you think you can solve for your customer, what I want you to do is to find that very one AI opportunity. And you speak with 10 users. That is the most important thing. Not just in your head that you think you will make money, Not just that you think when you build it, they will come. So you just focus on building. No, speak with your user, find 10 of them, not random people, not someone in the startup Facebook group, your real user, your real customer, okay? And make $500. If you can do that for the next 90 days, I think you're onto something. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jason. So I think we may not have the time for Q&As. We'll move on directly to the next session, so which is the fireside chat. So I'll just invite Jorge to join us. So, so in this session, we are not gonna be like, we don't have to be polite and we don't have to like just agree with each other. So how it works is I'm gonna throw like a bunch of opposing statements to you, and I'll ask you to argue for it. I'll ask you to argue against it, regardless of what you really think. Yeah?
Can I turn on my AI first?
I also do that. Give me one sec. So, and also we'll also like take questions from you as well. To start with, I'll ask, say, Jorge. So your statement is senior developers will benefit the most from AI coding tools, and for you, Jason, AI will reduce demand for senior developers and favor hiring cheaper juniors. So Jorge, go.
So I'm forward to like
Yeah. Argue for
yeah, no, I think it's true. I think it's true. Once you have the basis pretty clearly, and you know how you have your documentation clear, and you know how it works, and you know how to manage teams, it's really easy to begin using those concepts or previous preconceptions to new applied technologies. If you're trying to create something with AI agents or if you're just taking notes with AI, it just improves your productivity in such a fantastic way. So you will become more efficient managing teams, managing your work, and managing projects. So I think absolutely it's a game changer for senior devs.
Okay, Jason.
I have a perfect example of myself why that is not the case. So my background is a data scientist. I am good with data. I'm good with machine learning, all this sort of stuff. So what that means is I do not know how to build web application. So when I built Engage AI, I was more of a product person and I get my engineer to build it. What that means is I'm even worse as a mobile app developer. So last weekend, I got an idea that I have been wanting to build already, which is to help me as a professional speaker to manage my time better. I thought I can use AI to build it. I wasted the entire day, Saturday and Sunday, and the Android simulator was just throwing a bunch of errors. I couldn't get the Android simulator to work at all. That itself really taught me and really made me to believe that AI is an amplifier. It is an amplifier when you know exactly the foundation, and that will make you 10x better. If you are a senior developer as an engineer, it will make you 10 times better. But if you do not have the foundation, I think that is very difficult. So I think foundation is still very, very important. But I have to argue equally with myself is that AI will certainly help you to prototype it better. But if you want to build something truly beautiful, truly elegant, you still need to work with people like George and a lot of these people in the room.
Okay, I think Jason, you have to like argue for your thing, which is favoring junior developers. Okay, that's okay. Does anyone in the audience want to provide their feedback or comment or ask any follow-up questions here? Yeah.
I'm just worried about the marketing part. I think the true secret behind the successful app is like, how do you make people aware about its existence? Like, I'm very inspired to create apps, but I'm just wondering, how do I let people know about how great it is?
I actually have a presentation, and some people, I think there are 2 or 3 people have seen it before. Basically, is about the framework that I use to bootstrap it to 100,000 users, and it doesn't involve in posting on social media. It doesn't involve in spending $1. But if I were to summarize it, is that I very much use my technical skill set as an engineer to get the product out there. So first thing, use a lot of AI agent. I use a lot of AI agent to help me to promote my app. Second thing is I integrated the Engage AI with many other products, making it more sticky, but most importantly, getting in front of my target customer. And then finally, what I call as an engineering is marketing. So think of it, I built a free tool, I give it away. I actually have a free tool to give each of you today. And that's how I get myself in front of people by giving something small and give it for free.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks for the question. So we'll move on to the next one. So Jason, I think you can go first. So you will argue for this one. AI will create unprecedented wealth, enabling a future where people don't need to work.
My goodness, I would rather go the other way around.
Okay, that's fine. To make it easier. So the other one is that AI will concentrate wealth even further, benefiting only a small number of powerful companies and individuals.
I think that to a certain extent, it is true that because the big company, they have the wealth, they have the resources, they have the capability to do all of those things. I think they certainly have the benefit of doing those further, faster, but I show you how to do it. Possibly.
Okay. Jorge, you will argue for the equal, I guess, share of the wealth.
Equal share of wealth.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
So first of all, yeah, we are not trying to win here, and
Yeah.
we are not trying to win this debate. It's just for fun. So
it's for fun. Yeah, absolutely. If we were in an ideal world, I would think that it would decentralize how people generate products. And if we were in a perfectly competitive market where everybody has the same amount of money, the race for the best AI coded application platform software OS would be ideal because everybody would be able to compete. The best one out of all of them would be the one that wins, but that's clearly not the scenario. And things are being more expensive, and the tokenization is getting more complex, and there is less resources available for free. Even Postman now, you have to pay for Postman since like yesterday, I think. So yeah, everything is getting a bit more tighter for people that are getting into it. But yeah.
okay, I think if you guys look up to Elon Musk, he said that in the future people don't have to work because of AI. So I think there is some truth in it. But any comment from the audience or any follow-up questions? No?
Yeah. AI model evolves, so even the free tier models can be very good at a lot of things. So that kind of democratize AI to many people who cannot afford the best models. The not the free tier models are good for them enough.
Thanks. Okay, so we'll move on to the
Thank you. My question is, I know both of you is from kind of employer perspective, but if you consider from an employee, with this continued changing of AI and automation, what kind of suggestion you would give for employee to maintain or gain new skills so they'll be more employable? So I want you to change your hat as an employee.
I will go first, if that's okay. And so what I would suggest is you definitely try. And whether you know or you do not know, just give it a try. And if you are stuck, get the AI to help you to understand how to use it. And AI is just going to make you 10 times more. I actually don't think that AI will make us to work less. I actually think that we are going to work more and more and have more responsibility because of AI. So myself, as an example, I'm more of a data scientist, I'm more of an engineer. I do not know marketing, I do not know sales, but now I can do, to a certain extent, I can do more with it because of AI, right? And it's not perfect. It's not as good as someone who is a real marketer and a salesperson, but at least I can do it myself. So my advice is that try it. And rather than feeling scared of how it will remove you, try it, get better. That is how to make you more employable.
Yeah, I can talk from my own experience. I actually studied HR and I taught myself how to code. And during that process, I was so frustrated with HR processes that it was an absolute nightmare. Because whatever I wanted to do, an automation or something, I depend on the business on actually having the right data and the IT area on actually providing me correct accesses and being open to improving their processes. I think that you can learn up and down everything you want in your area and your processes and automation, and you can train yourself. But as an employee, you also depend on the other sections of the business being ready for that transition. And that sometimes is really challenging, and sometimes it can be frustrating. But that doesn't mean that you can leverage this new knowledge in order to optimize the processes that you directly interact with until a certain extent. And that can make you more employable because within the variables of your role, you can say like, oh yeah, I do this and I do it this much faster because I've structured my work this much faster. So when you go and apply for another role or another position, your workload is so much more manageable that your performance is just crazy in comparison to other people in the same roles. So I think the idea is to position yourself as someone that can actually outperform anybody in their role with new skills that you've learned within your area.
Okay, any more questions before we move on? Okay.
Thank you so much. My question to you, George, and to you, Jason, is how do you feel about the idea of governance in terms of AI? And what do you think about its future? And how do you think it's going to how it's going to proceed in governing how the AIs are performing? I feel personally that it's going to be an important issue in the future. Could be, in terms of how it's performing and what kind of outcomes are with AI. Since it's fairly new, people are trying out stuff. So just wanted to have an input from both of you. Thanks.
I literally wrote an article about that on my LinkedIn, and I think this is going to be very, very challenging for the rest of the world other than USA and China. And here's how I think about it. So a lot of countries are talking about AI sovereignty now, i.e., as a country, we want to own the AI model. I think it's impossible. How I think it's impossible is because, let's just say, for example, there are two AI lab in the Australia now, Matilda by main code, and then there's another one, I forgot the name. I don't think they have come out